2 days into their trip to celebrate the 30th anniversary of their graduation from the school, the group of friends seized on the warm autumn day to make the most of their visit to New York City. They wandered the city's sights and stocked up on souvenirs for their families. Later in the afternoon they rented bikes, smiling and snapping selfies as they rode alongside the Hudson River. A video taken by one member of the group shows the men waving as they cycled two Batois down the cycle path under a clear blue autumn sky. One flashes the peace sign, another a thumbs up. "That's it, champion," says one. "A bike ride very, very good," is the last comment on the clip. Minutes later, 5 members of the group would be among the 8 people killed and 11 wounded as motorist Saiful Osapov, 29, originally from Uzbekistan, allegedly plowed a pickup truck down a crowded bike path along the Hudson River in Manhattan on Tuesday, before being shot by a police officer. It was the deadliest terrorist attack in New York since the 11th of September 2001. In the Argentinian city of Rosario, the white and blue national flag at the San Martin Polytechnic flew at half-mast on Wednesday, as the country mourned the dead. The 5 Argentinian victims were all well-known architects and businessmen in Rosario, an economic powerhouse, and the hometown of Ernesto Che Guevara and Lionel Messi. They had traveled from Argentina on Sunday for a trip to New York and Boston, near where one of their classmates lives. A picture taken at Rosario Airport shows them dressed in matching white t-shirts emblazoned with the word Libre Spanish for free, which had been designed specially for the trip. Only 3 of the group survived Tuesday's attack. The other 5, Ariel Erlich, Hernan Ferrucci, Alejandro Panuco, Hernan Mendoza and Diego Angelini, all died after being run down by the truck in Lower Manhattan. The group had traveled to New York to meet 2 other former schoolmates, one of whom, Martin Morrow, survived the truck attack but remains in hospital. "It was the first time they had all gone abroad together," said Cecilia Piedrabuena, the wife of one of the survivors, Ariel Benvenuto. On Tuesday afternoon, the 10 friends rented bikes and planned to cycle around Central Park and then cross Brooklyn Bridge, she told LT8 Radio. At 4:45 p.m., Piedrabuena received a call from her husband, who told her he was alive but that something terrible had happened. The class of 1987 former schoolmates, all between 47 and 49 years old, were riding their rented bikes on West Street when they were mown down by the truck attacker. Her husband was cycling closer to the central flower bed. All those who were on the right were rammed. He heard the acceleration of the motor and the vehicle ran over his 5 friends. He was 20 centimeters away from being hit. They were 10 friends from high school who always got together. "What happened is terrible," she said. Argentina's president, Mauricio Macri, described the men as model citizens in Rosario society, adding, "We all must stand together in the fight against terrorism." In Rosario, the men were known as avid sports fans who had, through college, employment, marriage and fatherhood, maintained their close friendship over the decades since they left school in 1987. One of the victims, Ariel Erlich, 48, a wealthy steel mill owner and father of 3 young boys, had paid the airfares for some members of the group who could not afford the trip. "He was a great father, a great friend, a very generous guy," Gustavo Scaglione, a friend of Erlich, told local reporters. "Rosario has lost a great businessman. He was a machine of doing things. But most of all he was a great guy." Another of the victims, Hernan Ferrucci, was a successful architect who designed luxury high-rises built along the Parana River, which flows through Rosario. Hernan Mendoza and Alejandro Panuco were also well-known architects in Rosario. They had not only been high school mates but also studied architecture together. Mendoza was a rugby aficionado and Panuco had 3 daughters. "We're a very tight group, that's how our school formed us," said Jorge Nid, another classmate who stayed behind in Rosario and who heard the news from one of the survivors in a WhatsApp message from New York. "I can't understand it, I can't get it through my head." Student reunions at the San Martin Polytechnic are a well-established tradition in the city of Rosario, sometimes drawing thousands of past pupils, friends and relatives each year to celebrate. Alicia Oliva, a director of the school, said one of the victims had a child studying there, and announced a week of mourning. "We would like to express our deepest sadness, and embrace all your loved ones in this difficult moment that nobody, ever, should have to bear," the school said in a statement posted on Instagram. The attack marked Argentina's worst death toll from a terror attack since the 1994 bombing of a Jewish community center in Buenos Aires, in which 85 people were killed. Another graduate of the school, Laura Rocca, said because you come from Argentina, far away from wars and terrorism, you have a sensation that nothing is going to happen to you. It's this craziness of globalization of which we are not exempt. We are far away from everything, but this can also happen.